Hello and welcome to the Daily Show with JK Experimental Lab, sponsored by Stop Now. And I'm JK, your host. I'm always joined by Amar. Though I'm not feeling good, I thought of asking Amar to host the show. Hopefully, Walter joins in. Yes, he is right on time. Let's welcome him.
Isaac, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you feeling today?
I'm getting better, but still not there. Hopefully, it should be better in the coming days.
Nice to hear you. Hi, Walter. Good morning.
Good morning. How is everyone?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, I thought of playing out like a live project today and see like how that turns out.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Is the audio coming through or
Yes.
Oh, we came to know that the city project there is some problem happened. So has the problem solved or is still going on?
yeah, it is still going on, and probably we can play out like the last city project that happened. And
Mhm.
this one is like a midlife that is happening today, right now.
Okay. Yeah, the audio is not coming from the meeting.
Oh, you guys can't hear the audio.
No, I can't hear it.
You're right. It's not by anything. So 6930 cannot be an arch to quad. Um, 2910 and 2920 are by tooth. I think we need to break these rules out. So 6930 cannot be arched to tooth because the 6930 is not a per tooth procedure. It just should be a simple rule that 1516 with 6930 is not covered. We would allow the 1516. It's not arch to quad. Okay. Because there's no identifiers for 6930. So we should be. And we need to look at all of these because I'm noticing 6930s listed on many of these.
I'll
Okay.
work on breaking them out.
Okay.
Okay, so
And then question there. Oh, can we go back?
you need the rules?
Yeah.
Okay.
So question there. We have two procedure codes that are by arch. And our rule is arch to quad. Is it
Mhm.
also comparing arch to arch, like same arch?
Are you just talking about the rules in general, or are you talking about?
The rules in general, yes.
It should
So,
be, like, go back to the sheet. Like, if it was comparing arch to arch, I would have left it as,
so if we get a
by itself.
1515 and a 1525, are we comparing arch? It has to be same arch.
Well, 1525 is canceled.
Oh, sorry.
2018. It's okay. Because they broke
said the
that
wrong
up
one.
to the 1526 and 27.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. So if we have a 1515 and a 1526, are we comparing same arch?
Yes, it should be like 1516 to 1526,
I just,
which is line 28. So 1516 and 1526, it looks like. Yeah. Those are against each other, but we don't give any signifier because they are.
well, that's
they're
my
already
concern.
specified.
So, because 1516 has an arch or 1515 has an arch identifier. So if we get a 1515 for the lower arch and a 1526 for, which is upper arch, is it still gonna deny or is it gonna compare?
Well, 1515 is canceled. That's also a 2018 code. So they broke that one into 15, 16, and 17. So if you're looking at maxillary to maxillary, yeah,
Oh,
we
I need to look at, sorry, I didn't realize it.
that's okay. So
It'd be
I think
canceled.
that's what we're accomplishing on line 28 that both Bonnie showed.
Okay.
So you have 1516, which is the maxillary, and then I think it's 1526. That little TD is over it, so I can't see, but that's also for maxillary. And then we didn't give any like signifier because it's already in the name.
Okay,
So we know that those two should
Yep.
hit against each other.
right, agree. The code is by quadrant and procedure. I was looking at some of the canceled codes in error. I should have expanded my sheet to look to see if they were still active.
Trust me. After I looked at all these, I got so crazy. And then trying to look back 2 years, it was great. I get it.
Okay, I think that answers my question.
So this,
So we still need the rules updated to break out the 6930 because 6930 does not have an identifier for tooth, quad, or arch. It needs to be its own rule. So if a 6930 is submitted with these other procedures, it should be declined. And Lindsay's gonna work on breaking that out because it was on multiple different space maintainer lines or codes.
Yeah, I just checked the charge line and it was 40 over here. So we have used the Q.
That it was 14
40,
Yeah.
40.
or 0. I don't recall.
Right.
What
Right. Space maintainer.
40
is space maintainer, not covered on EE or spouse.
Oh, yeah. So in that instance, we should be entering these procedure codes on a child. There's specific codes that are only covered for children, including sealants, space maintainers. And then, of course, we have age replacement for cleanings.
So would it be okay if I make a note stating enter these procedure codes on a child?
Well, it looks like they continue to talk about it. And I find a lot of issues in these kind of meetings, right? So this is a daily stand-up meeting. So as a Scrum Master, what we are supposed to do, we have no clue. This has been going on for an hour or more. So that is something that these companies often do it. So we just don't have any control on that. Just wanted like to share that and also explain to the audience what can be expected. Any comments and thoughts you guys have? Do you able to understand or follow through anything what is happening there?
It sounds like they're just discussing things that aren't really pertinent to whatever it is they're going to be doing on the project, which they didn't really even get into, which maybe they'll get into that at some point, but I don't know. It seems like just a round table of things when they're just talking. I don't know. It's a little odd.
Yeah, let's check with the last one on the city and what exactly happened. But anyway, this will be available exclusively for member only, and I'm just going to play a few minutes of it because it's been recorded for more than 2 hours.
Update me. Sometimes those might completed the task, but they missed to update the Jira.
For design you're saying, or for
Yeah, design and dev delays. No, just design and dev delays from the heat map PC email.
development, and that is green only, no?
No, we are red.
Design is red. Development and DIT is good.
But development
yeah.
is 5% behind. Expected is 100% to picture, but we are at 95% too. So that is what
I'm
the
trying
behavior.
to say. So like DIT and development is green, right? So design might be because of Jira updates.
Yeah, that's what Ravi was just trying to verify with you.
I didn't went to the team list, not yet reached to them, but like DIT is green, so expected like the Jira updates missing from their side.
Sure. So that is something, Sarath, we will be connecting today. Typically, we does this activity after the heat map generation day. Very next day, we will connect with the folks to understand why there is a delay. What is the gap there? So this is something if we get a chance to update, we will update it in the call Arun's call. So going back to the heat map.
In between, I discussed with Natarajan also, specifically for 240, because from their side, many plates are there. So they are going to work, but they need some more time to update the Jira.
Sure.
Yeah, let them know. I mean, let them update. Let whoever is there on the call today. I don't know if Arun will be there. It should be Sam, I believe. Just let them know what is happening with the numbers, if any.
Can we go to the heat map quickly?
Oh yeah, I've opened it already. Here it is.
Yes. I mean, iteration plan. If you go to the iteration plan and column C, filter in the column C. You can uncheck the 2023. Also the dash one. In 2022. Yeah, again, if you filter 2022 December, uncheck the future dates, including 23. Thank you.
Okay.
So if you see here, Sharath, so this is how we track through whether we are delivering the items as planned to the SIT team. Here on the column H, it says wherever you can remove the SIT handover done. Those were delivered already. So there are still few PRBs and CRs that we need to see why this wasn't completed per plan.
Well, we have the main party, the culprit here. Let him hear from him what he has to say, like how did he lose connection?
You're talking to me?
Okay, just a minute. I am going to receive a call for net profile. Let me see. Hello. Yes. Who is? I'm good. Thank you. Yes. Mm-hmm. Right. Well. Yeah, I have PMP. Yes. New York. Okay, I am in a meeting. I will connect with you later. Okay. Or you can contact me over the mail. Bye. Okay, maybe there was some audio issue. I don't know what is happening.
Yes, go ahead. Like, Iftikhar.
Yeah, I didn't understand. I mean, why did you say like that? What culprit? Didn't I inform you that the password? It is asking to change the password. You said okay, right? 15 days back. Then again, within 7 days, the Zoom, when we connected Zoom, the pop-up came out. I said it is asking to change the password. You said you skip it, we'll do it later. So the finally a stage came that it didn't allow to log into the system unless you change the password. So the moment we enter the password, immediately it didn't let you to go to the system. Immediately it asking to change the password. Then I have informed to you. So now you can tell me where I was wrong.
That's exactly the point is, right? So when we are working on projects, right, certain instructions will be given, certain will not be given. And when you take control as owner of that particular project, you have to be aware of the manager's contact and their phone numbers or email, the first thing. This can happen to anyone. I'm not blaming you, right? So it can happen to me, to anyone else in our team. So this is part of the experiment as well, right? So when it says like to change the password, you should be aware of how to change the password as well. Because the minute we change the password, this would have happened even 14 days before, or whenever you got the notification. We should not have changed in the VMware where it was asking us to change the password. That is not the procedure, it seems. So we need to find out like where the mistake is. That is where like we lost connection to the city network, and also now retrieving it, right? So I'm not blaming you alone, right? To retrieve it. So you have been dependent on one person, right? And that person doesn't respond at all. You know that. And you talk to him a lot, but still when it comes to critical position like this, where you are not able to log into the system, and he doesn't care. He doesn't care in the sense like he doesn't even knows how to raise the request. And he claims he has been with the client for more than a year. So where do you put the blame now?
Isn't that on the
Right.
client?
I know from where the password can be changed. It was giving a pop-up. On that pop-up inside the system, it can be changed. That's what on the next time when I informed that, yes, it is giving pop-up, we said skip it. Now the finally a stage came wherein neither you have choice nor I have choice to change the password from inside the system, because the time has been expired, and from the outside of the system on the VMware screen it was giving the error message. And when I have spoken with Sharath, he said, okay, I'm trying to help you out. He was giving some, because he's using some other application to generate the OTP or one-time password. So he was asking it is 2 or 8. Probably if you can remember yesterday I had a word with you. I was asking, is it asking for 2 or 8? Because I'm not aware of it. I mean, what application you're using. I thought finally a clue about it that you're using something like BlackBerry Access application, I believe, right? Or Access. So I informed him. He said that why did you install it? I said the LTE people install it. Okay. So in that case, he said then in that case, Srinivas, if I was already informed him that I already have spoken with Srinivas and the request has been raised from that. So then
No,
he said, okay, then.
that is the typical thing, right? So, so we have to be aware of and be cautious, right? You have this experience. You even mentioned it to me that Sharath was using some negative words, and by mistake he said something and it got escalated and blew up, right? So same thing, right? Here in this case as well. So the typical, I don't want like to say that even Americans do this. Indian managers are like kind of, they treat you like they are the boss and they don't help you out, basically, right? I try to minimize that there won't be any disturbance with my voice and your voice. And I spoke to him and asked him to raise the request. And he was saying like, ask someone else, Venkata or Sharath, like to do it. So basically he doesn't know. So he doesn't accept that, like, I don't know how to do it, but he is passing the buck to somebody else and do it. And even Sharath has message saying that like he is getting some error. He's not able to raise the request. and he's sharing the screenshot to the city manager.
Mhm.
And that is one thing, right? The good thing is, like, I reached out to Shiva, and he is kind of smart. He took all the contacts and information well ahead and had it on his backup. So he shared with me and asked me to reach out to Lionel. That way, like, we can resolve it immediately. And when I messaged Lionel, he immediately responded. And he also gave a contact, like Nidhi, some lady, who will be the point of contact, like, for us, like, to get this request raised immediately and approved, and which was done in a short span of time, within few hours, right? So that's how, like, it should happen. I'm just explaining this, right? The whole thing, just to get some clarity and also share the experience in our experiment. So that is why, like, I asked you to join. Anyway, let's move on and see, like, what can be done in this. Walter, any comments, any thoughts before we close the call for today?
No, that, all that honestly just seems to be on the client, because that's supposed to be a process that is easier to do, because that's it's going to be a common issue that comes up, because I've run into that with some of the clients I've worked for, and I've dealt with it not being an easy thing just to get something like a password updated. They can take over a day and need like 3 reminders, like, hey, I need you to just push a button and reset this and tell me what the reset is. So I mean, that just feels like that's on the client, and they should immediately let everyone know who you need to go to get that updated as quickly as possible. So I mean, that this seems to be unnecessary anxiety for the worker having to go through and figure out who you need to contact to get a password reset.
Yeah, so this has been like the issue with large corporations, right? Because there are thousands of people and they have outsourced even the help desk, and also when we call, they follow through some instructions and protocol. That is how, like, they do it. It should be simplified, but it is not. And we can't do anything about it. But the problem remains here is, like, they will put the blame on the individuals, saying that, like, you have been here for almost 60 days or 90 days, whatever period, right? You should be aware of how to reset the password, and also you're being given instructions, training, all those things. So if you can't follow through it, you will not be the right fit. That's how, like, they make that assessment and judge people as a performance issue. So that's one thing, like, we need to be very careful of in these big clients, because they just don't care about you or anybody else, right? As long as I mentioned, right, even he was mentioning using a negative word in group meeting settings has triggered him to get blasted by his manager later on, and getting escalated and getting reported to different people is not a normal thing. So that is something we cannot do anything. We can address by raising these concerns.
Yeah, I mean, it seems that, yeah, unnecessary steps that should make it a lot easier. I mean, they really shouldn't be a thing that you have to wonder, is like, hey, I'm locked out of the system, how do I get back in? It should just be, you go to this person, they reset it, and you're back in. I mean, even if it's a big company and there's thousands of people working there, I mean, there should be a process set up for that, with like IT or something, where there's like, oh, okay, yeah, we got that process, taken care of and smoothed out. So you just ask me for it, I give it to you, you log back in, you're back on your way to working. So I mean, I don't know. I blame the client 100% for an issue like this.
Yeah, of course. Right. So it's kind of what we are at right now. With that, last episode of this year from tomorrow. Bye for now.